Okay, so if you run a business, you know this feeling. You've got happy, loyal customers. But when you look at your online review pages, crickets. It's a huge frustration. So today, we're not just going to get to the bottom of why this happens, we're going to show you how to fix it for good.
So let's just ask the question directly. Why are your review pages so empty even when you know you have satisfied customers? I mean, it's a puzzle that drives business owners absolutely nuts. And you probably think the answer is pretty simple, right? But the real reason, well, it's kind of hiding in plain sight. All right, so here's the big misunderstanding. We all assume our customers just don't care enough. It's just apathy. But the truth? It's way simpler. And the good news, it's way more solvable. See, it's not about their motivation at all. It's about the process, the one you've created.
So let's unpack that real why. We're about to dive into the two big obstacles that stop even your biggest, most loyal fans from leaving that 5-star review you totally deserve. And here it is, the first big reveal. The problem isn't apathy, it's annoyance. The whole process is just annoying. Let's be honest, it feels like a chore, and who actually likes doing chores? Nobody. Okay, let's give this a proper name. We'll call it the friction barrier. And this, right here, is the single biggest reason you are losing out on reviews. Friction is basically any little thing in a process that makes someone have to stop and think or put in extra effort. And let me tell you, the typical online review process is just packed with it.
Okay, put yourself in your customer's shoes for a second. Let's walk through this frustrating journey. First, they gotta even find the right website. Then, oh boy, the dreaded login screen. Do they remember their password? Of course not. So now they have to create a new account or do a password reset. If they get past that, they have to figure out some confusing interface, and you know what? By this point, they're done. They've given up. It's just too much work. But, friction is really only half the story here. Let's talk about the second barrier, which is all about what's going on inside your customer's head. Yeah, this one's psychological. We call this one the fear barrier. It's that little voice of doubt, you know the one, that pops into your head right when you're about to write something. They start worrying about stuff like, what should I even say? Or how do I sound smart? Or is this even helpful? This pressure to write the perfect review, it's surprisingly powerful.
And really, it all boils down to this. Your customers would rather say nothing at all than risk saying something badly. This fear just leads to them censoring themselves. And poof, another potential 5-star review just vanishes into thin air before a single word even gets typed.
Okay, so we've got our two culprits, friction and fear. But here's the great news. The solution isn't about trying to change your customers. That never works. It's about changing your process. So let's dive into what we're calling the frictionless, fearless fix. The answer, it turns out, is a system that is super simple, really smart, and totally automated. It's literally designed from the ground up to just knock down those two barriers we just talked about. So here's how it works. It's a simple 3-part fix. Step 1, a single QR code scan. That's it. No more searching around for a website. Right there, you've just demolished that initial friction. Step 2, 0 logins required. This gets rid of the single biggest point of annoyance for pretty much everyone. So boom, right there, the friction barrier is basically solved. But step 3 is where the real genius comes in. This third step is called the smart redirect, and it's where everything just clicks into place. It creates this amazing win-win situation. It totally tackles the fear barrier by creating a system that works beautifully for you and for your customer. So check out the simple logic behind this. The customer just gives a quick, simple star rating first. If they tap 4 or 5 stars, they're happy, they're automatically sent straight to a public review site, like Google or Yelp. But, and this is key, if it's a 1, 2, or 3-star rating, they get sent to a private feedback form instead, and that goes directly to you and only you. Just look at the benefits here. It's a total game changer. For your business, you're curating this awesome stream of positive public reviews. That's social proof you need. And at the same time, you're turning any negative experiences into private, actionable feedback that you can actually use to get better. And for your customer, well, sharing a great experience is totally seamless. And if they had a bad time, giving that constructive criticism feels safe and productive. That fear of being judged publicly, it's just gone. So when you boil it all down, what's the single most important takeaway from all this? Let's focus on that one key idea you need to build your own friction-free future. The key is to stop pushing your customers so hard to leave reviews. It just doesn't work. We've all seen it.
Instead, you need to build a smarter, easier path for them to walk down. Because when you remove the friction and you take away the fear, they will happily share their great experiences with the world. And you know what's amazing? Building this smarter path isn't some huge, monumental project. You can actually set up a system just like this in as little as 5 minutes. I mean, that's such a tiny investment of your time for a massive return in both social proof and real customer insight.
And that brings us to a final thought. We've focused on reviews today, obviously, but this whole principle, it applies pretty much everywhere in your business. So I'll give you with this question to think about. If you could eliminate friction from just one other part of your customer's journey, where would you start? Because finding that answer, well, that could completely transform your business.